That feels great. Oh man, that feels great. Man, I gotta tell you, even with air conditioning on last night, I actually still felt kind of hot. This feels just right. But I know I can't stay in here forever. I'm sure what you're looking at on the screen right now looks amazing. I mean, it's a cute lake, of course it's beautiful. But like you're supposed to do, you gotta keep the camera on the talent. So, just give me a minute. Here. And man, do I have some things to share today. I mean, full disclosure, I was going to talk about the new show on Netflix, Exploding Kittens, and I am. But if you guys have known me and watched me long enough, then you know that without fail, my favorite artist of all time, individual artist of all time, is Eminem. And with him just having released his new album, The Death of Slim Shady, it's only appropriate that I once again give the GOAT his flowers. Yes, I am calling him the GOAT. I will get to that momentarily. But before I do any of that, let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. Especially when you get to the act of kindness, because I'm really looking forward to talking about that one. So, my low would be, it was hot yesterday. I mean, really hot yesterday. And the day just felt kind of long for a Friday. Usually Fridays feel a little on the short side, but this was different. My high involved my act of kindness, which was seeing some very dear friends of mine yesterday, because I was helping them move. I was helping some friends move. Really excited for them. You know, took care of some business, and yeah, got it done. Now then, let me. I promise I won't take too long to talk about the Death of Slim Shady for this one. Hold on. All right. So, Exploding Kittens. I saw this trailer a while ago, and this looked like the sort of dumb, stupid fun that's right up my alley. And it was. I mean, if you don't know what Exploding Kittens is, it's a show that's based off of a card game where I guess Exploding Kittens is like Cards Against Humanity. If you don't know what Cards Against Humanity is, it's like apples to apples. And if you don't know what apples to apples is, then you're either too young or you've been living under a rock your entire life. But Exploding Kittens was funny as hell. I mean, there were times where out of nowhere it would just catch me off guard and I just started laughing. I mean, even the jokes that you see in the trailer for Exploding Kittens, like the ones that obviously the trailer, I mean, everyone knows, oh, the trailer always ruins the jokes. Like, no, still worked on me. That's how good it was. But the way this show works is, you know, God's been slacking on his job, and, you know, he wants to, you know, help humanity make them better, and they can go back up to heaven. So the board sends him down to Earth, and with the caveat that he has to be a cat. He is God Cat, which I looked up who the voice actor was for God Cat, Tom Ellis. I don't know much about him, but I'll tell you what, if he ever does any more voiceover acting stuff, I will definitely give it a watch. Because, like, he does such a great job of, like, yeah, he's God, omnipotent and stuff like that, but he plays it serious, and that's why it's funny. And on the flip side of that, I'm blanking on the actor's name, but the woman who voices Devil Cat, Beelzebub, because Beelzebub is a cat now too. It's just such a funny show. It's just a really funny show. I mean, listen, if you like kitties, like I do, this is already going to be up your alley. If you're a fan of, like, it's very, I didn't have an opportunity to look up, like, any of the writers and stuff or anything, but it's very clear that they have a very good set of writers who either have worked on other good shows or they grew up watching that and they've been able to mimic that kind of writing. Because, man, this is a good show. And also, before I forget, I have to give a shout out to one of the GOATs of the voiceover acting industry, Tom Kenny. Because, I mean, he's done many voices throughout his whole career. And he does a lot of voices in this show, too. By the way, if you don't know who Tom Kenny is, he is SpongeBob SquarePants. Yes, the voice of SpongeBob has a lot of voices in this show, too. And he's good. I mean, it's Tom Kenny. I mean, you look him up, like, you've seen him before. Actually, not only is he SpongeBob on the show, but he's also Gary the Snail. And if they ever bring him out, he's Patchy the Pirate. Yes, he plays Patchy. Which, honestly, now that I'm an adult, I realize that's why you can never see Patchy and SpongeBob in the same room. Funny, right? That's just the sort of good writing SpongeBob has. Point is, like, Exploding Kittens was funny as hell. And I highly recommend you all give this a watch. Just like I absolutely highly recommend you give a listen to Eminem's new album, The Death of Slim Shady. Now look, I view this like I viewed watching Dave Chappelle's The Dreamer. I did a video about that a while back. Which actually was like the most views I ever got on my YouTube channel, by the way. And on the grand scheme of things, the one thing I didn't mention when I talked about Dave Chappelle's The Dreamer is I didn't really need to see it to prove what I already knew. And that's the fact that Dave Chappelle is arguably the GOAT of comedy. On the flip side of that, actually not flip side, in the same vein that I didn't need to listen to The Death of Slim Shady to prove what I already knew about Eminem. He is the GOAT, and that is non-negotiable. Even though, I mean, listen, for those of you who don't know, Eminem, listen, high school really sucked for me. But Eminem was just like that one voice where, you know what? I was too much of a good little boy to flip the middle finger, but you know what? Eminem was that kind of person to, like, you know, do it for me. If that makes sense. Like, man, back when I was a wrestler, like, if I ever, I mean, obviously, any wrestler at some point has thought, oh, maybe if I should be in, like, the UFC. If I was ever in the UFC, Till I Collapse would be my theme song. Because, I mean, Eminem just sells it. I mean, even some of Eminem's weaker songs are still better than a lot of people's best songs. Hell, give you an example. On this new album, Trouble, you know, obviously by Eminem. Let me just say this. T-Swizzle, much love and respect, but Eminem has a song with the word trouble in the title as well, and he did it better than you. Let's be real here. He did. Because it's Eminem. Okay? Listen. There are a few things in this life I am sure of. Okay? One of them is that God is real. Also, like, I mean, Eminem is the GOAT, man. He is. Like, even in his... If he is... I think he's like 50 right now or something. Even at the age he's at, he's still making, like, hit after hit after hit. And every song on this album is worthy of that moniker. Renaissance, Habits, Trouble I just mentioned earlier, Toby, Houdini, Temporary. I could go on and on. Like, and what's also great about this album too is, like, within the first several notes of just, like, hearing the background music, you're like, sorry, spiders everywhere. Like, within the first few seconds of hearing the song, you're like, okay, things are about to get lit up in here. And they are. Oh my God, they are. I mean, again, I didn't need to listen to this album to prove what I already knew. I really didn't. Hell, by all accounts, Eminem really could retire. And, you know, everyone would say he's one of the greatest of all time. If not already. Much like in the way I mentioned about Dave Chappelle earlier, for comedy. But that's why Eminem... But one of the reasons why the greats are considered great is, even when they reach older ages and have been through so much in their lives, both good, bad, or indifferent for that matter, they're still hungry. They want to learn more. They want to do more. They want to hone their craft as often as possible. Where, like, people, like, you know what? They leave their audience wanting more. Like, I literally just listened to this album last night. And, yeah, I want to listen to it again. That's the beauty of it. Like, you know what? Here's a good analogy. Much like I always say when it comes to comedy, good comedy makes you laugh, but great comedy makes you laugh, but also makes you think. Great music does the exact same thing. Good music will make you want to listen to the song a lot. And I do. Great music, like, it not only makes you want to listen to that song more, or songs more, you want to learn more about the artist and everything going on behind the scenes. And that's why it's so awesome. I mean, listen, I know that the album title is called The Death of Slim Shady. And, I mean, with several of the songs like Evil, Lucifer, and Antichrist. I mean, yeah. Marshall is really pushing for... I mean, the theme of the album is Eminem is trying to get himself canceled. But listen, I know, you know, cancel culture, all that stuff. Listen, honestly, I think cancel culture is a load of garbage. Every once in a while, someone you know who's great is going to mess up in some way, shape, or form. The only reason why they let themselves get canceled is because they let haters get to them. Eminem's not going to do that. No. Like, whatever feelings you have about Eminem, he's not going to care. Because he is Eminem. I mean, the man makes more... Off this album alone, I guarantee you, he's going to make more than 1 million people will make in their lifetimes. And, I mean, it's just such a good album. Oh my God, this is such a really good freaking album. I want to listen to it some more. And I will. I absolutely will. Although first I'm probably going to get myself... First I'm going to probably upload this video, get myself some breakfast, and then I'll listen to it some more. But man, like, when they released the music video for Habits, which is arguably the catchiest album, the song on this album, you know, like, okay, this new album gonna be lit. I mean, listen. I know, looking at me, I'm the last person who should ever be talking about rap music. And, oh, you're white, so of course you're supporting Eminem. No, I'm supporting Eminem because he's that freaking good at what he does. You know what? There's one guy I've been watching a lot lately. He goes by a Classic Man D. Which, by the way, Classic Man D, if you're watching this, big fan of your work. He could definitely, what's the word I'm looking for? Pontificate more on this. But he'd be able to do a better job talking about this album than I ever could. I will admit that. Which reminds you, Classic Man D, on the slim chance you're watching this, you know what you gotta do. I mean, shout out to Classic Man D. Seriously, I've been watching Classic Man D a lot. Like, he's a One Piece fan too. That's awesome. And so, if you haven't watched Classic Man D on YouTube, give him a watch. He's awesome. But, I mean, listen. Yeah, this is the long-winded video of me giving Eminem his flowers. Flowers that he probably doesn't need from the likes of somebody like me. But you know what? I actually said this in a message I sent to someone last night. Again, I didn't need to hear this album to prove what I already knew. Eminem doesn't need praise from me. But, you know, a little validation never hurt nobody. Just like being up here at G.O.A.T certainly doesn't hurt me any. Doesn't hurt me any. I hope you like this video. If you did, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I'm very humble. I made this video for all of you guys who are watching. Enjoy for name. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Saturday. Oh, happy Saturday, folks. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk to me, we'll be here to lend your back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.